Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to finish off our chapter on percentages, but before we do that, we're going to have a quick recap on how to do percentages with a calculator. So on our next slide here, it says we're going to use a calculator to work out percentage of an amount. So we've got 4,285 people vote in an election. If 32.5% vote for Mrs. White, how many people voted for her? So what we actually need to work out is what is 32.5% of 4,285. So if you remember, to do this, first thing we need to do is change our decimal into a percentage, and we do that by dividing by 100. So moving the decimal point 2 places to the left, which will give us 0.325. Remembering that in maths of means times, 4,285. Now that will give us 1,392.6 people. Which isn't very sensible, is it really? Because you can't have 0.6 of a person. So we will round that up to 1,393. In this example, tickets to go and see a group called One Direction at the BIC cost £32.50 each. And there is a booking fee of 1.5% if paying with a credit card. Find the cost of 4 tickets. So we'll look at one method. The first way I'm going to do this is actually work out what 4 tickets would cost. So I would need to work out what 4 times £32.50 is. And so that will give me £130. If paying with a credit card, you then have to pay an extra 1.5%. So we need to work out what 1.5% of £130 is. So change my percentage here to a decimal by dividing by 100 will give me 0.015. Multiply that by 130 and work out the total. So the extra for paying with a credit card would be £1.95. So therefore the total cost would be £130 for the tickets plus an extra £1.95 booking fee to make a grand total of £131.95. Now some of you might have said, okay, but I could work out what 1.5% of £32.50 is, work out the new cost of 1 ticket with a credit card and then multiply that by 4. So 1.5% of £32.50 would be 0.015. Times that by the cost of the ticket, and that will give me 0.49485, which will round to 0.49 pence. So the total cost of 1 ticket is going to be £32.50 plus 49 pence, which will give a grand total of £32.99. So the total cost for 4 tickets is going to be 4 times £32.99 which will be £131.96. Now you can see that these two answers are not the same. They're out by 1p. And you've probably realised why this is. Now, this happens because I've rounded up here. So I rounded 0.49485 to 49p. So that was a quick recap of some of the questions that you have been doing in 11D, and hopefully you feel confident with them. If not, just ask me. And on this slide, we can ignore that. That was the homework answers, so don't worry about that slide. And we'll crack to the next topic. So we're going to be looking at percentage increase and percentage decrease. We've got a quick starter here. If you pause the video, you can have a go at doing the questions and then start the video again to see whether or not you are correct. So here you go. Hopefully you understand the first and third question. I've written a little explanation up in green to see if you understand it. So here's another little starter just to make sure you're all okay with percentages. So if you need to work these out on a calculator, it says work out the answer to these without a calculator. So off you go, pause the video and let's see if you're correct. So just working through this, I can say, well, 10% is 4.5 grams. So 20% will be double that. So 2 times that. So that will give me 9 grams. In this question here, 10% is going to be 12.5 metres. 5% is going to be 6.25 metres. And 1% is going to be 0.125 metres. So adding all those answers together will give you 18.875. And rounding to 2 decimal places, 18.88 metres. In this example here, I would say that 10% of 90 is £9. So 30% would be 3 times that, which is £27. 1% going to be 90p, and 5% is going to be half my £10, so half my 10%, so £4.50. So adding the 30%, so I'm going to say £27 plus my 5% plus my 1% will give me a total of £32.40. And finally, the last question here, I would say that 10% was $4.50. So 5%, so if 10% is $4.50, then 5% will be half of that. So 5% is going to be $2.25. And 2.5% is It's going to be half of that, which will be 1.125. Add those together gives me 7.5%, which will give me 3.375. Or if you like, $3.38, rounded up. So hopefully that will make sense. Now, understanding these non-calculator methods is good, and the more practice you get, the quicker you'll become. Now, sometimes when a value of something increases or decreases, we can often describe the change as a percentage. So we could, if something is being put in the sale, it'll very often say reduced by 15%, or if there's been a pay rise, teachers have had a 75% pay rise. So we can work out all of these as these percentages are in effect a percentage decrease, and in the case of getting more money, a percentage increase. And that's what we're going to look at in this next section. So there was a sign in a shop window. It says the original price, the cost of a TV, is $1,245, and it says that everything has been reduced by 30%. So how can we work out the price in the sale? Well, one way of doing it is to say, okay, the television costs $1,245, but if we work out what 30% of that is, that will tell us how much it has been reduced by. So the first thing we need is to work out what 30% of 1,245 is. Now, we know that 10%, divide that by 10, is going to be £124.50. So 30% is going to be 3 times that. Which will give me £373.50. So it's been reduced by £373.50. So the new price, the sale price, to work that out, we need to take how much it cost before, 1,245, and subtract £373.50. So in the sale, we can say that the television now costs £871.50. Now, of course, that's a non-calculator method, and so we could do with looking at a calculator method. So again, we need to work out what 30% of 1,245 is. On a calculator, 0.3 times 1,245, and if we put that in, we'll get £373.50. Okay, and then you can do the same subtraction to get the new price. I really don't mind. You need to read the question in the exercise and see whether you're allowed to use a calculator or not. Okay, but whatever, you need to show you're working out. I need to see a method for both ways. Right, so another example. We've got the original price for dress is £119.95. In the sale, it is reduced by 30%. What is the sale price? Now for this one, I'm going to use a calculator method. So I need to work out what 30% of £119.95 is. So we'll write, well, 30%, 0.3 is a decimal. Work out 30% of £119.95. and that will give me, rounding up to 2 decimal places, £35.99. So the new price, the reduced price, the sale price, is going to be £119.95 minus, because it's in a sale, it's going to cost less, £35.99. So £119.95 minus £35.99 will give £83.96. Okay. So in this example, we've been told that the weight of a young puppy is 2.3 kilograms. After a year, its weight has increased by 80%. What is its new weight? So it's obviously getting bigger. We're working out what 80% of it is and then adding that on. So we need to work out what 80% of, I always keep on writing that, of 2.3 kilograms is. 80% as a decimal, 0.8. Of means times 2.3 kilograms. Okay, so we have, that will give me 1.84 kilograms. So the new weight, it's increased, the new weight of the puppy is going to be 2.3 kilograms plus an extra 1.84 kilograms, which will be 4.14 kilograms, which actually isn't very much after a year. So you've just got to read the questions really carefully. If something's been reduced, if there's been a decrease, it's got smaller. So that tells you that you work out the percentage and then you're taking that amount away. If there's been an increase, so if something increases, it gets bigger. So you work out the percentage and then add it on. When you add something on, it's getting bigger. Now in this question here, sometimes you've got to decide whether something has increased or decreased. So Bob has £378 in his savings account. At the end of the year, he earns 1.4% interest. Now, that's actually pretty good nowadays. I wish I got 1.4% interest. But anyway, so when you put money or you save money, you earn interest on it. The bank will actually give you a percentage return on your money called interest for actually saving with them, having your money with them. So you've got to decide, is this going to be an increase or a decrease? So if we want to work out how much he'll have at the end of the year, he's got what he started off with, then the bank is going to add some interest on, so it's going to be an increase. So interest is an increase. So we need to work out what 1.4% of £378 is. So we're going to change this into our decimal by dividing by 100. So 0.014. Of means times. Put that into our calculator. Which will give you, rounded up to 2 decimal places, will give you £5.29. So that's how much you get for having your money in a bank and not doing anything with it. You will actually earn a little bit extra. So at the end, after 1 year, we'll have £378 plus the extra £5.29, which will give £383.29. which isn't that bad. And if you think about it, something you might like to think about it, what will happen the following year? Okay, so what we'll go on to look at next year is another type of interest. So that's how much you got at the end of the first year. So if you keep this new amount in your bank and not take anything out, you're going to earn 1.4% interest on this amount. So the amount of money you keep on getting back each year, the bank will be more each year. So it doesn't stay, you're not earning just £5.29 each year, you earn a little bit more because you've got a little bit extra in your bank account. And that's something called compound interest, which we'll look at more in year 8. Now I hope that all makes sense to you, and we've finished this chapter now. I will put the work on Insight, and I'm going to look at the questions I would like you to do. Some of these are quite tricky towards the end. The PS means problem solving ones. So some of those can get a bit tricky, but it might be nice if you could all have a go at one of them, so that we can practice doing the longer questions. But I will put up on Insight the questions I want you to do. Okay. Well, don't forget, you can ask me anything in the drop-in session, and just get in touch if there's anything else you need to know. I would just like to add that you can have a go at there's a little activity after this, a matching activity. You can have a go at that. On the slide 14, this is taken from last year when we were preparing for exams. So you don't need to worry about that. It's not going to affect you, so do not worry about that slide. Just ignore it. And on the last slide, there's some little sums. If you want to have a go at those, please do. But like I say, don't worry about slide 14. It is not for this year. It was for last year. Pause the slide now and check your answers. So here you go. Here are the answers. I hope you got them right. Please ignore this slide. You haven't got exams imminently. You won't be having anything until you get back to school. And even if we do have exams, we're given time to revise in school. So please do not worry about this slide. Skip through it. Go to the next one, quick. You can try these instead, for fun. Not compulsory, just for fun.